Hey, hello, it's Brenda Miller, Stampin' Up, and I'm here with our Cutest Onesie bundle class. And we have a couple of people on here, and we've got at least a couple that'll be watching this on replay. So welcome, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I am going to pop over to my desktop, and here we go. So this is card number one. I was just telling the girls here on the call that these cards are really simple. And what's nice about them is that you can whip them up really fast, right? So I know I always wait till the last minute and have the gift and be like, oh no, I need a card. So this way I will have some myself and hopefully you'll have some too. Okay, so card number one, I used this green to be a neutral card. But look at the other side of the paper. How pretty is that? This is the Wildflower Birthday Designer Series paper. So kills me to use the boring side, but it was appropriate for this card. And we have a thick basic white card base. Hang on a second. I am still getting an echo, so I just want to turn my audio down a little bit so I don't hear so much. Why is it? Oops, sorry. All right, well, not much more I can do. Okay, so we have the thick white card base. We have a regular white layer, and we have another piece of white, and this is what we're going to be stamping our onesie on. And so it's just 4 pieces of paper, so simple. So we're going to start with every card uses the onesie, obviously. It's Cutest Onesie. So we're going to just stamp this using, I may be going in a different order than the tutorial, but the steps are all the same. I just might be doing them in a different order. So we're stamping down the Cutest Onesie, and I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink for these cards. So we have that. I'm getting a finger problem here. And then we're going to also put the little heart. I like to add a little something. Now, if you wanted to, you could do it in another color, but in your stamps, we have this little teeny, and they're very easy to lose, so I caution you.
With the heart?
Yep, this is just a little heart.
And no, I think my ink is dry.
Sorry?
I think my ink is dry.
Re-inkers are back in stock for Memento Tuxedo Black ink the day after I went and ordered one off of Amazon.
Oh.
And which I didn't need anyway, but that's besides the point. I've had my issues with Memento.
Anyway.
I now have 3 bottles of Tuxedo Black. So that's okay. I will use it.
That's funny.
All right. So we're going to, after we stamp it, we're going to go ahead and die cut it out. May as well jump right into it. And you're just going to line it up. And I'm going to hop over and, oh dear. All right. I'm going to pause my video for a second, girls, because I have both my big shots upstairs. So give me 1 minute. Okay, and I'm back, and I went ahead and die cut it, put it through the machine that I went and retrieved. So it just pops right out, and here we have our little onesie.
I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
No, go ahead. I'll be fine.
Okie dokie. So I have a little mess here. I'm just going to clean that up real quick. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and now assemble our card because it's that simple. So we're going to use regular adhesive to put our white layer on. Now you could, if you wanted to, use dimensionals. That's another way to use the second layer. And if you haven't already done this, don't hold off because I meant to stamp first before I put it on. So nothing like not following my own directions. I really should do that. But since I put the glue on the back of mine, I'm going to go ahead and put it down. But we need to put our congratulations on, and we want to position it we want to position the congratulations roughly where we want it to be, but we want to stamp it before we glue it down, unlike what I just did, because just in case you make a mistake, right? You want to make, give yourself a chance to flip the paper over. But what happened, Anne Marie?
No, I love it. I love that you can, if you make a mistake, you can flip it over.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I'm just going to mount the congratulations onto my block. Tap, 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 and position it roughly about 2/3 of the way down the page and centered and hopefully straight. Okay. Again, if you don't get it straight the first time, you can always flip it over and do that. And then once you have it, then you can go ahead and add your paper, your designer series paper. And again, it's the Wildflower Birthday, which is part of the Sweet Sweet sale this month. If you were looking at getting some, now's the time. And then we're going to add our onesie with some dimensionals. So super easy card. And once you see some of the other things that we do, you may want to go back and add to it or make a stack of cards like this with different designer series papers, etc., just to have on hand. And I just think they're just perfect. You can, I didn't add any gems or anything to it because I wanted to keep it clean and simple, but pearls, the iridescent pearls work really well for baby cards. I find they're teeny tiny and they're just a little bit of bling, and I really like the way that they look. But we didn't use any today. So. All right. So how are we doing? The ladies on the call, did you get it done?
Pretty much. My black ink is gone.
Say it again, Lois. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
I'm just about done.
Okay. All right. So we'll give it another minute or two. Just give me a thumbs up. Let me know when you've got it done. All right. I do have to raise my volume because otherwise I can't hear you. But all right. So this Cutest Onesie stamp set is one of the most reasonably priced stamp sets that we sell. It's a great basic stamp set to have in your collection, and you are lucky because now you've got it and you may never need another baby set if you don't want to.
Right. I didn't have one.
Yeah.
I did not.
I have old ones, but I didn't have any recent ones. So, but I did get it right when it first came out. It came out in last year's catalog, not this year's. It's in this year's, but the first time was in last year's, and it's I've been making a lot of cards. They go in phases. Sometimes you just need a bunch of baby cards. They seem to come in waves. That is for sure. So, all right.
Yep.
You're ready? Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Another simple card. And what I loved about this, so of course this was inspired by Mary Fish. She's one of my favorite card makers. I love her clean and simple design. And this is using the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper, which is still available. And I use the blues. The Timeless Plaid paper is meant to be masculine. And so there are no pinks in there. There are some like corals and orange kinds of patterns, but no real girly cards. So this is going to be a boy card just because that's the designer series paper. You could use either side, of course, but we have 4 by 5 1/4 to be our card front. Used a lot of white cardstock for these cards because I like clean and white for baby cards. I think that it sends the right message. You want things nice and clean and fresh for a new baby. So go ahead and put that plaid paper right onto your card front. And as you can see, all we're going to do is die cut out the onesie from this. So let's go ahead and you can use whatever color you have on hand, but in this case, I'm going to use, I said Lost Lagoon, and so that's what I will use. Grab that over here. And you can put any sentiment at the bottom that you want, but I'm going to use the wishing you lots of joy, because that is a nice sentiment as well. They're all nice sentiments. Let's see. Go ahead and put it on to another block. I just have a stack of blocks here, so sometimes it's just easier to leave them mounted. So you're going to put this at the bottom, towards the very bottom, and just be careful not to get your ink where you don't want it. And again, you can flip it over if you screw up. So that's why we stamp first. Okay, so wishing you lots of joy. And I actually think that's a little crooked. So
oh, okay, so it's not me.
what do you mean?
Oh, I thought you said you thought that I put it.
Yeah, I did stamp it a little crooked.
No. I was confused. Thought you were talking about something else. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we have our wishing you lots of joy. And so once you have that, then you want to go ahead and position your die right above it, leaving plenty of space. And I did do it straight on, but you want to leave plenty of space at the top because we're going to use the baker's twine to make a little bow. Or not, if you don't want to. You don't have to do a bow, but I'm going to just take it over to my machine. Quickly get that die cut out. Now, theoretically, we could save this onesie for another card, but you have plenty of supplies not to, so you can save that for your own use. So we've got now our little onesie, and then you have a whole bunch of baker's twine. And what we want to do is wrap it around the top. Now, sometimes I like to put a little bit of tape. Oh, here comes Carol. She didn't think she was going to make it.
That's nice.
Hello, Carol, welcome. Welcome. We're on card number 2.
Thank you. I think I'll just watch at this point.
Okay, well, for card number 2, but then you can join us for 3, 4, and 5. So we want to just wrap it around 2 times and then tie a bow at the top. Now, sometimes what I like to do is tie a knot once I get everything in place. I will say sometimes the bow doesn't come out as great if I do that, but I'm going to go ahead and try it so I can show you. I did not do that on my sample. Oh, God. Got like a little avalanche going on behind me. What happens when you have 3 classes, 2 days? Another one of those weeks. 4.
To have a lot of those.
4 classes in 2 days.
You seem to have a lot of those.
I don't usually. I usually only have 1.
Oh,
1 week like that, but this month I have 2. 3 really. 3. Ay. Anyway, so I just tied myself a little knot, and now I'm going to tie a bow, which I am not very good at, but we're just going to go for it. As I always say, I have 3 boys. God knew what he was doing. I cannot tie bows. No girls for me.
I love using the negative space on this one.
Right? That's what drew me to the card, because it was so different, right?
Yep.
From like I said, I felt like they were all kind of looking the same, and I didn't want that. So we needed something a little different, and that's what this was.
So smart.
So, yep. All right. So you trim off your excess, and then once you have that, you can put that onto your card front using dimensionals and fiddle around with your bow and get it all pretty if you want. Looks like I went around, my twine went around 3 times by the time I was done. But what I'm going to do is put my dimensional right over the twine so that it doesn't move around, or at least catch a little of it on there. You don't want to put it right over the top of it, covering the whole thing because then you want to make sure it's catching the paper. So, and you put it on an angle. And now, while you're finishing that up, I'm going to show you how we got our little, this is one of the vanilla matte books. It's a neutral dot. And it's going to come out, hopefully. Maybe. As usual, nothing is ever where I need it, where I expect it to be. But, well, you should have in your packet one of these little dots. And all I did was I colored it. It's a vanilla dot, and I used the Stampin' Blends and colored it, and then added it on. Now you can't use your regular markers for that, right? Stampin' Blends, because they're alcohol markers, they will work. Okay, so that's the deal with that. I don't have one for myself because I was going to show you how I did it, and then so anyway, you're just going to put that anywhere. And again, that's a Oops, got to remove the backing. Again, this was inspired by Mary Fish. So thank you, Mary, for yet another great card. Okay. Card number 3. Here we go. So this is the card where you're going to decide whether you want it to be a boy card or a girl card. So I made this card as a girl card. So I'm using the pinks. Now you'll notice that you have both pink and blue paper in your card kit, so you can decide which one you want to do. You also have some gems and randomly sized pieces of pink and blue. I literally just went into my scraps drawer and pulled some out for us. As far as the white pieces go, we're going to be stamping 3 onesies in white and 1 on either pink or blue. We have another one of those panels that are going to go on the card front like we did on the first card. And then the final, the smallest piece is for our sentiment, and we're going to fussy cut that. Okay, so in order to get your background, see how it's a nice soft background there? Trying to see if I know who inspired this card. I think her name is Danny, and her name is in the tutorial. I did put her name, that the card was inspired by her. But I'm going to use Balmy Blue for this one, so that way I have a boy card and a girl card. And you're just going to open up your ink pad, and you're going to pull out a blending brush. Okay, so you're going to tap on, I need a piece of scrap paper. Take my scrap paper away. Whoopsie. A whole bunch on here. Okay. So you're going to tap, tap, tap onto your pad, and then tap off, because you want to make sure you don't want any, prominent marks on there. And you're just going to come over and do like a big ovally circle. And you can see that I'm not even going to have to go back to the ink pad. This is plenty of blue for me on this card. Okay, so you can see that's all I did. Now with the pink, I did tap back into the ink pad a couple of times when I had done it. So the blue, though, came out really kind of dark. So that's what I'm going to go with. So go ahead and get that done. And once you have it done, then you can add it to your card front. So another really quick and easy card. Yes, we're going to be doing a bunch of die cutting, stamping and die cutting, but it's still super simple. And I'm sorry, but very cute. Again, it was a little bit different. Showed a technique that was a little bit different, yet still very easy. You, of course, could do this with daubers or watercolor if you wanted to. You could use an aqua painter and just color the background. Okay, so when you're ready, once you get that done, we're going to go ahead and stamp all 4 of our little onesies. So of course, the only time consuming part of this card really is the die cutting, and not that it takes a long time. I just sometimes struggle lining it up perfectly, but let me just get that stamped. And I use the little heart again, but you can do whatever you want. You can use, actually, I'm going to use stars on this one instead of heart. Remember to do that. So I'm going to mount my little star and ink it up and just put it right in the same place. I don't know, I like to keep it simple on these little onesies. You could put a whole bunch of stars on and that would still look good. It looks like it's a patterned onesie, but I'm going with just the 1 star. Kind of cute. And maybe a little more masculine than having a heart. So then we're going to cut them all out. And again, we're just going to line it up. And again, that's where I tend to struggle for whatever reason. I never know exactly where I want to put it. And I'm going to go and cut it out. And I'll do the same for the other 3. And you can do the same. So Anne-Marie, did you cut these all out in advance?
No, I'm
After all that?
behind. I'm behind, but I'm okay.
Okay. I thought you were I thought that's why I sent it and wanted it early.
Yeah, no, I had every intention, but work got in the way.
Yeah. How about that? So I will admit, while I design the cards at the beginning of the month so that I can send out the kits to everybody so that you have them in time, I don't actually do the tutorial until it has. I basically work my schedule on just-in-time inventory, right? I do things right when they need to be done, and that's the order I do them in. So, tend to not get to things until they're due. One of those people that works really far in advance, just too many other things going on. So I've got 3, and then I'm going to cut one.
Yeah.
What's that?
I was just going to say that's a lot.
Yep. And I have all of mine done, all cut out. So while you're finishing that up, here we go. When you have it ready, you're going to line them up on your card however you like, but I like the way that Danny did this, which was basically evenly spacing them around the card and then putting them kind of in columns.
I'll be right there, Duncan.
Nice and clean and simple and symmetrical. All the good things.
I love it.
Yep, and you're going to put it on with dimensionals, each one. I just use one in the center. You know me. These dimensionals are very strong. So I really don't feel like you need a whole lot. And gives enough pop. It's going to get squished in the envelope anyway. So I figure this will at least give it a little bit of lift. I'm just lining them up. Oops. Going off camera there again. As soon as I pull it down so that I can see it better, then the camera loses it. So. There we
Is it?
have
Oh, I'm sorry.
4 little onesies.
Love it.
Yeah.
Adorable.
So when you're done with that, you can give me a thumbs up. We'll wait. So Carol, what have you got going on? You're just watching now?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just watching because I didn't even pull out colors or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just watching.
Good. Everything good? Did you do your
And one of those days I've been gone all day long. I haven't even
Yeah.
had a chance to even look at the tutorial. So
Okay, that's no problem. Have you done your class yet for the teachers?
tomorrow,
Tomorrow. Oh my
yeah,
God.
which is
Wow.
another reason that I'm like running crazy because I'm just trying to, make sure I have everything that I need to bring
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah. How many people do you think you'll be working with?
I have 12 in the morning session and I think 8 in the afternoon session.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So I'm pleased. Hopefully it'll go well.
Yeah.
Sure it will.
Excellent. I can't wait to hear. You need to have somebody take pictures.
Yeah, hopefully I'll remember to do that. I
Mhm.
actually just put the kit together last night, just one sample of each, and they're really cute cards. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be good for people that are beginners and have absolutely no experience with stamping. So
Yeah. Which kit is it? I forget which
I
one.
did the newer birthday kit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Did
there's
you
3 different.
see?
One has an ice cream cone on it, one has
Yeah.
balloons, and it's really cute and
Hmm.
nicely done.
Yeah. We all got, since we're all demonstrators here, we received the Stampin' Success Weekly today and your email, and they
Hmm.
showed the new kits that are coming next month. Oh
Hmm.
my God.
I
I love
glanced at
that.
it. I have to look at it more closely when I get a
Yeah,
minute.
the birthday one is just
Yes. Love
fabulous.
that.
I can't wait. So,
I can't wait. Those colors.
yeah,
Oh,
I know. Are we ready to move on?
Yep.
yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so now we're going to take our final piece and we are going to stamp our words. Now, for the words, we're using 2 different ones. We have the stamp that says, well, a big welcome to your, and then you're going to take sweet boy or sweet girl, whichever one is appropriate for your card.
Okay.
So,
Do you have
get
to
my
go
sweet
outside?
boy. And you can even put them both on one stamp, just separate them out. We are going to be fussy cutting this apart. Okay, so I'm going to take a block, and I'm going to use my balmy blue ink pad, and I'm going to stamp it right on that piece of paper. And then with my scissors, I'm going to cut apart a big welcome, and then to your, and then sweet boy. So, and I'm just going to cut them straight because there's no need to wiggle. If you wanted to, you could keep these together, but I chose to separate them. I mean, I'm not going to separate them when I first cut it, but now I will. Cut them in half. And this way, it just gives you 3 little sentiment strips. And I'm cutting close to the edges, close to the letters. Dun, dun. Okay. To your, and then sweet boy. Even if it's not perfectly straight, nobody's gonna know. Supposed to have that little handmade look to it, right? By doing it this way. All right. So again, we have a big welcome, and then to your, and then sweet boy. And I'm just going to adhere them. I'm actually going to use my glue. 3 glues sitting in front of me. And I am going to actually put it, I just find it easier to put it right onto the the onesie. And if I had my take your pick tool, I would pick it up with my take your pick tool, but then I'm just going to lay it down. I'm going to smush it around a little bit just to spread it out. So we've got a big welcome. Just make sure when you put them on, you put them on in the right order. Because otherwise it's gonna be a little funny. And you want to try to make sure that they're straight. And see, mine is not. But that's what using the glue allows you to do. Here you are. And then the sweet boy or sweet girl is going to go right onto the colored onesie. So got that here. And that's it. If you really feel the need, you can cut yourself a little dimensional to put underneath this little edge here. I think I might have done that on this one, just so that, nope, I didn't. But you could if you wanted to, if you were feeling so inclined. And then to be honest, I gave you these little gems. These are the, oh, I don't know, iridescent gems. I'm going to look it up right now for you. If I get it right. Gosh, I love the search tool on our website. They're iridescent foil gems, and they go with pretty much anything, but I couldn't decide where I wanted to put them. I didn't put them on at all. I've been doing that lately. Like if I can't decide, I just leave it. As much as I like to have gems, but I gave them to you in case you come up with a good place to put them on your card. And that is it for this card. How easy, right? Another quick and easy. So when you finish it, just give me a thumbs up so I know. And, oh, good. Great. Oh, wow. You girls are fast today. Okay, great. Okay, let's move on to our next card, which is one of our 2 fun folds. So I was mentioning before that we have 2 fun folds in this class because all the cards were kind of looking the same. But I thought this was kind of neat. And you could also, if you wanted to, put a gift card in, right? And tuck it in there so that when they open it, it comes out. So very handy. Okay, so we will open this. Now, it does have an embossed panel, and that is embossed with the eyelet embossing folder. So love that for baby cards. And to be honest, when I make my cards on the first card, the really simple one, I usually will use, I do this a lot, and I usually will emboss the background first. So I just wanted to keep it, I wanted to take us from super simple to more complicated. So that's why I didn't do it on that one. Okay, so we have a lot of lemon lolly. And again, lemon lolly is for a neutral baby card. And we've got lots of pieces of paper. We have, believe it or not, this lemon lolly. And when I hold it to the camera, you'll be able to see it better than you can in front of you. But there are 2 different designs. The longer piece actually has stripes on one side and leaves on the other. And this is from the Subtles package that is now on the last chance list. Okay, so technically it's still available. So I went ahead and used it. The other piece is actually has designs on it as well. And then there's a third piece that is cardstock. Okay, so you've got 3 different pieces here of lemon lolly. I just wanted to make sure that you know what the differences are. The measurements are in the tutorial. Okay, and then we have our little flip card and our card base. So this is cut long way. So I cut it 4 1/4 by 4¼ by 11, and then I cut it, I scored it at 5½, and then I cut it at 7¾ so that we have a 2-inch space here that we can fill. Actually 2¼ inches. All right, now that you know that, let's go ahead and put our embossed piece on the inside. And because it's embossed, I'm going to use my wet adhesive. So just feel like it sticks better, gets in the nooks and crannies. And here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Nice and pretty. Okay. Once you have that, you're going to take the striped piece. Okay, so this is the longer one. It's the one that fits here. So if you can't figure out which is the stripe, and it's like an optical illusion when you look at these in this color. Like when you look at it in other colors, it's quite apparent what the designs are. And this lemon lolly, I was getting like a little seasick, trying to figure out what was what and all of that. So you're going to put that at the bottom. So now you've got your little flip fold. All right. So next we have our 6½ by 3-inch little fold. And so I folded it, scored it for you and folded it. And we're going to actually put it right in the middle of that eyelet piece. Okay. And again, because it's going onto the eyelet, I'm going to use my wet adhesive. It'll make it nice and strong. So it's be sure to stay in place. And go ahead and just putting it on the back side, right? Wait, hopefully I didn't have to say that. You're going to just put it right in the center. And if you're off a little, it's okay. Nobody's going to know. It's all going to still work. Okay. And then you can open it and put your flaps down like that. But we're going to keep it open for now because we're going to take our white pieces. Now, these are not square. Just so you know, they are not square. So when you go to put one of them on the inside, you want to make sure that you have it facing the right direction. I had meant for it to be square, but not what happened. So, so you could adjust if you want to the dimensions when you recreate this card, because you have all the measurements for everything, but that will go there. And while it's important for the inside so that it's all lined up, it's really important for the front, okay? Because we're going to be stamping our congratulations right at the bottom, again, to give us an opportunity to flip it over if we have to. I'm going to do it the right order this time and get my congratulations back. And again, that's going to get stamped on the very bottom. Here we go. I got mine straight and almost centered. Good enough. Again, if you don't like it, you can flip it over and try one more time. Once you have it, then you can go ahead and put it on the card front. And then we'll start working on the little accessories from there. And we have it. So that is the mechanics of the card. And now we can decorate it. So while you're finishing that up, let me talk to you about our decoration. So the designer series paper piece is the one that's going to get the onesie stamped on it, okay? I know you can't even tell, but it's the side that has the little teeny tiny circles, okay? So you can stamp your onesie on there. And the other piece is what we're going to use for the 1, 2, 3 and the rattle. You know, we had to use some of these other little toys, right? So this is how we did it. And for the we're going to use the rattle, the hanger, and the 1, 2, 3. But there's one more thing in your kit that you need to know about, and that is this strip. This is the double-sided adhesive so that we can make them sticky, okay? And all we're going to do is, I wanted to make sure that you had this little end that allows you to peel it to make it easy. Okay, so you're going to peel it back. And actually, you have more than you need, so you're going to go ahead and just lay it down on the piece of lemon lolly, the cardstock piece. And then whatever you have left over, you can cover up with, you know, I just tore it so that we can keep it. Okay, and just chop that off the edges. Now, the hanger does not need to have adhesive on it, and we're actually not going to peel off the backing for the adhesive for the hanger. So you could either cut it on, oops, it's going to be on the back. So you can either cut the hanger in a part that doesn't have the adhesive, or if you cut it with the adhesive, it's fine. You're just not going to actually use it as adhesive, but you've got the piece there. It's all covered. So you're going to line up your dies so that the adhesive strip on the back is underneath what you're die cutting, okay? I know it would have been helpful if I cut it the same width, but I didn't think of that until too late. So, and now I'm all sticky, so just messed it up. So then you'll go over to your die cutting machine and cut them out, but you can also take over with you the onesie. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp them that. I like to do my die cutting all at once if I can. That's why I do that. And on this card, I put the little buttons, but I have to tell you, the little buttons are a little hard to get straight. So I'm going to this time use the heart instead. Doesn't really matter. You decorate your onesie however you want. Now I've got a little heart on there. Might not be the straightest, but fine. It's fine. Baby's not going to know. And I'm going to take my onesie die and line it up. And like I said, I'm going to go over to my my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and get these all cut out. In 1 second while I do that, and you do the same. Is anybody else getting the onesie lined up properly? Is this me?
Shockingly, I always have trouble lining things up, and I am not having trouble with this one.
Really?
Go figure.
When I first got it, I guess I just can't mentally tell where the lines are, the cutting lines are. Oh, that one came out pretty good.
That's usually my problem with everything else, so.
But I like to use that double-sided adhesive sheet whenever I am adhering teeny tiny things. So I thought this was a good opportunity to do so. I'm just getting because the key to getting everything off is the take your pick tool, right? So we're going to punch out all our little dies. There we go. We have our little hanger, and like I said, we're not going to take the adhesive off the back of the hanger because otherwise it'll sit flat. You don't really want that. There's my 3. There's my 3. And then little raffle, which I think is just adorable. Just so cute. Okay. So you've taken other classes with me before, with the baby card, you'll know that the trick to putting the hanger in is to go from the back. So I'm going to take my little hanger, and you have a little slit up here at the top, and we haven't made a big deal of it. Truthfully, if I'm making a baby card with a onesie like this, I'm going to make sure that I use a hanger, even though we didn't on the first couple of cards. So see, you just slide it up through the back, through the hole, and you get that. And then you're going to put it above the congratulations using dimensionals. And this one I put one of the dimensionals right on top of that hanger so that it stays in place. So I actually have 2 dimensionals on this. So that goes right in the center above the congratulations. And then you can add your little accessories. And as I mentioned, it's the take your pick tool that's going to be your friend on this to be able to peel off the backing. You're just gonna try to catch an edge. Probably the hardest part of everything we do today, peeling off the backing, but it does come off relatively easily. And I just put them going down the side. I put the numbers on one side. I don't know, I'm getting a lot of excess. I think my ink pad is really messy on the outside. Sometimes when we have classes, things get very messy, and I don't know why. I don't know what people do that causes that to happen, but my ink pads will get messed up. So we've got 1, 2, and then I'll do the 3. So it is going to get so disgusting out. We have been, this has just not been a very good spring, right?
Not even remotely.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, because it's going to be like 90 some odd degrees now.
I know. And humid.
And well,
I know that's almost always the case, but
yeah.
so we've got the 1, 2, 3, and I guess I'm leaving that there for now. I meant to put it down a little bit further. So you do you. I like it down there better personally. And yeah, I'm not looking forward to this heat. Upsets me. I just feel like I just don't have the right clothes to wear. I never know what's right. And now that my knees are so gross with my scars. Oh my God. You know, I showed my scar to my friend's husband who had the same surgery, right? Little teeny tiny, nothing scar. I have mine because I'm so fair. It's still like bright red or
Wow.
It's gross. It is gross. So all my little skirts that I have that come above the knee, I'm not really that excited to wear, you know. I don't want to gross people out. Not that, I mean, they hit right at the knee, but still. Trust me, I'm not wearing shorts.
It's probably more gross to you than it is to anybody else.
I know, except that he said, "Oh my God, that's really dark."
Like, oh, thank you very much.
That was not nice.
Thanks, Mick. Oh my God. I said, I know, it's because I'm so fair. And that was the worst one, is the one that I had it's over a year for that one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But you said they lay flat, right? They're not.
Yeah, they're flat. I don't know. How are yours, Carol?
Well, I'm very fair skinned too, but I have to say that they've healed pretty nicely. And I mean, yeah, you can still tell they're scars, but they're not super red.
No.
So I don't know.
Yeah, mine are pretty much petunia pop.
Yeah.
It's gross. ugly. So, all right, how did we do? Are we done or are we still
Yep.
working?
I'm still sticking my last
Okay,
number.
all right, no problem. Get that done and we'll move on to the last card. Still takes over an hour. I really thought this was going to be a quicker class, but
It started out that way, but
yeah, I know. I was trying to keep it simple, but okay.
yep, they're great.
Well, while you're finishing up, we're going to talk about our bookbind card, bookbind fold, like that. And I don't have you could put a 4x4 piece on the inside here. I chose not to just because it's so light. It's basic beige, and it's using that Storybook Moments Designer Series paper, which is still available and it's not last chance. So it's out there and it's going to be there for a while. So, that paper just makes really pretty baby cards. So, okay, so if you open up your envelope, you'll get out all your pieces and everything is great. The one thing that is on the last chance list is this bordered ribbon. So this is the basic beige bordered ribbon, but there is a new basic beige classic ribbon, which looks very similar. So meanwhile, I don't think it's going to sell out that fast anyway. But so we've got our ribbon. We've got a bunch of it. I probably gave you too much. And then I just want to share with you what I did here with the Designer Series paper. So you've got a bunch of pieces. I started with a piece that was 5 inches by 4 inches, okay? And then I cut 1 inch off, okay? And I did this on each individual piece to make sure that everybody's going to be matching, okay? So each piece is done this way. So I cut off the 1 inch, and then I die cut out a circle because we're going to stamp the onesie on the back and cut it out from the circle. All right. So this was paper saving, but also I love the way it came out. So that's how it rolls. So we're going to go ahead and take our Designer Series paper and glue it to the front of the card for both panels. And you can see how whatever you have on the left side is going to match to the right side. Very proud of myself for figuring that out.
What color is the blue?
Sorry?
The blue color? What?
No.
On the first side? What color is that?
No. So you're going to do it.
No, I know. I was jumping ahead so I'd get my stamp pad out for the.
Yes, we are going to be stamping we're stamping with black. Is that the question?
Well, I was going to use the same blue.
I bet Anne Marie's iPad died. I was wondering what happened there.
Oh, no.
Oh. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to go rogue. That's why I was asking.
You do whatever you want.
But I needed to know what color that is.
Lost Lagoon.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep. It is Lost Lagoon. So once you get your paper on the front, you're going to take your ribbon and you are going to.
Anne Marie just wrote a note saying she couldn't finish because her dog just puked. Sorry, I want to interrupt you.
Thank you.
So that's why she jumped off.
Oh no. Oh my God, that's the worst. Oy. All right. So what I did was I put a line of adhesive at the top of the inside and a line of adhesive on the bottom. And you're going to take your ribbon, put one end at the top, pull it through, and then secure the other end at the bottom and cut off the extra. Okay. So yeah, I gave you way too much ribbon. I was a little wild there. So you have it. This is what it looks on the inside. This is what it looks like on the inside. And then this is what it looks like on the outside. Okay. So inside and outside. Great. So once you have that, then we're going to use our tear and tape. And you can also use wet adhesive. You could use your regular adhesive. Nothing's going to happen. But tear and tape, I feel, is the strongest. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to lay it down the length towards the inside of, I'm sorry, towards the fold. Well, that didn't help either. Towards
On the inside
the
of
middle of the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what the right words are to say that. It's a little confusing. But anyway, that's where I put it. So you have the regular fold for the card, and then the second fold is where I put that adhesive, and then you'll just peel it up. And what'll happen is that this will stay secure. You'll fold your card and close it, and you now have a bookbind fold. Okay? Quick and easy.
Except my tear and tape just ran out.
Oh my God. If you knew how many tears I have. Parcel roll.
Oh, I've got plenty. It's just that it's finding the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
Roll.
Yep. Well, let me know when you get that done. In the meantime, I'm going to put my little dies away because I'm going to lose them if I don't. And I'm also going to pull out the little pocket, the one piece we have not used yet from I'm very proud of us. We used all the dies. We didn't use all the stamps, almost all the stamps. Not quite all the dies, but we did use all the dies. Okay.
So how am I folding this? I'm just putting it down? Oh, okay. Got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to take when I cut out the circle, I used one of the Stylish Shapes dies, and I used the same size die, which I believe is 3 inches or 2 3/4 inches. I used the same die to cut out of some basic beige. Now you could have used a different color. You could use a different color, or you could use a different size. Oh, we lost Carol now too.
Oh no.
And we're going to use dimensionals to pop that up. To pop up the basic beige circle. So now you don't even realize. You didn't say goodbye. Bye, Carol. And it goes right over that hole. Nobody will ever know. So then on the reverse side, we're going to stamp our onesie one last time. And we're going to die cut that out, but we're also going to die cut out. If you want, you can use the remainder of your adhesive and put it on the back of the Lost Lagoon so that you can stamp and die cut out the pocket. And again, we're going to do the hanger. So, oops, where's my stamp? There we go. Okay. So you're going to take out that little pocket, stamp, ink it up. I have to admit, when I had this designer series paper, I really didn't know what I was going to do with it. And this sheet and at least one other works really nicely with this. And of course, it comes with its own die cut. So that's also a reason why I probably wouldn't have done it. But yeah, the pocket is really tricky. And again, you don't need the adhesive on the back of the hanger, but it doesn't hurt to have it if you don't peel it off. And I'm going to just go and cut that out real quick. Do it. Little pieces. And now I lost Lois too.
Here.
Nope. I'm like,
Such
wow,
stuff
I'm gonna
with
finish
me.
this class by myself.
Nope, you didn't get rid of me that
Yep.
easily.
All right, so I've got my pocket with my adhesive on the back. And of course I did it at the edge. Okay. So going to peel off the adhesive. And it just decorates up my little onesie. And then I can grab my hanger and I'm going to put it up through the back again. So doing the same thing I did the last time. Whoops, off camera again. All right. And there we have our little onesie. And again, we're going to put 2 dimensionals, one so that it holds down our little hanger. I'm going to peel it up. Oh, come on. Put it up a little higher. Make sure I'm catching actual hanger. And then that. And then that can go right in the middle of the circle.
So the onesie is popped up also?
Yes, yes. I was going to say this is the one time that I'm actually doing 2 layers of one.
Like, I'm so confused.
What's that?
I'm so confused because I know you normally don't.
No, I don't normally, but this one needed it. This needed it. So we're almost done. So let me know when you are ready. We are going to stamp congratulations onto the little strip of basic beige. Congratulations.
Okay, you can, yeah.
We have our congratulations, and then we can trim the edges like I like to do. I do like to trim them in the same direction, the ends on a diagonal. And that's going to go across the onesie, but what I want you to do is put your dimensionals on either side of the onesie, and this is so that it doesn't pop up a third time. Okay, 2 is bad enough on a card. So you want to do it on either side. You might not want to press too hard so that you give yourself a chance to make sure that you get it straight. Or you could use smaller, pieces of the dimensionals to help you make sure that you get it right. That'll go straight down like that. And it sits perfectly on top. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Like a little belt. And then finally, we're going to put the remaining ribbon, and you're sliding it under, tying a tight knot, cutting off the extra, of which there is an awful lot on this card. I gave you way too much ribbon. I don't know what I was thinking. And that's it. Those are all the cards for today. So what do you think, Lois?
Love them.
You made it all the way through.
Woo.
And everybody watching on replay, you did it. You got here all the way to the end. I would like to know which is your favorite of the cards.
I would say either this last one or the one where you use the image, the
Negative space.
negative. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
those
I
two are my
actually think
favorite.
those are my votes too.
Nice.
Actually, no, I should say my favorite is this one.
Which one?
That one.
That's
definitely-
right up
that
there.
is
It
my
was tough
favorite.
deciding, but
Yeah. Yeah, they came out, I was trying to keep it simple and everything, but I think they still came out better than I had thought. So I was very pleased. And there are lots more ideas out there. And by for me, it's having the right designer series paper to match it with. So that to me is the hard part. But if you're not worried about DSP, then all they can be really easy by just doing pink, blue, or green and yellow. It all works. We'll
Yep.
make great baby cards.
we do.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Let's see. I'll go back to me up here. Spotlight. Thank you so much for joining. And next month's class, bundle class, is going to be the mixed labels bundle. And that is also one of the, it actually belongs to a suite. And so that you can get that, you can buy one, get one 50% off, either a whole suite, or you could even choose 2 bundles that they could be from different suites. And one of those will be 50% off. So it's a great time to do that. And if you're interested, you have to just let me know. You got to order it by the end of the month. Okay. But that's it for today. So thank you for joining, and we'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.